Howdy. Well, this is 2 days in a row where I've had trouble getting out of bed, and depression has come and sat down beside me and said, "Howdy." Um, I think I'm gonna make an appointment. If this isn't the flu, I think I'm gonna make up an appointment to get a flu shot with my primary caregiver because it's like poison ivy. It's like once you catch it, you're more prone to catch it. I never had the flu until 2018, and then I got it uh, 2 years in a row. So I already had it in 2019, but we're almost in 2020, and I think I was asked somewhere if I wanted a flu shot, but I don't feel very good at all. And flu is rapid onset, like flu type B, the type that I got twice in a row. It's like you instantly like ache and you're feverish, and I don't know. I don't really think that's what's going on with me, but I am not well, unfortunately. And I'm really on here just because I didn't get much sleep and I got to kill an hour because I got to wait for the guy, the Meals on Wheels guy, to bring my food. It's They show up between 11 and 1 unless he caught the flu. Guy usually shows up quarter after 11. But of course, I can kill that much time talking no matter how I feel. I feel bad, man. I got up just to turn the fan uh, to block out. I got a fan on. It's 30 degrees out, just to block out the noise upstairs. And I found out that the fan set on number 2 does not block out the dog barking upstairs. So, but yeah, after I had my appointment um, with the caseworker, we went to the place and I got put on the waiting list and all that. I haven't even touched the paperwork, which is in a packet and it looks pretty thick. You know, I haven't touched the paperwork. And yesterday I woke up and I had a dream about a girl that I knew all the way through. I knew her for like 9 years. I went to school with her. And her initials were JP. And she liked me and I liked her. Now, it's supposed to be the guy picking on the girl. But me being as passive as I was, she would pick on me. You know, because we're just kids. But, you know, traditionally, at least this is what I've been told, when a boy likes a girl, he pays her attention, sometimes in negative ways when he doesn't understand those feelings. When you're like, you got those feelings, but you're too young to understand what's going on. The old piggy tail pool thing, I think, is the traditional way they phrase it. Um, anyways, she used to bug me all the time, her and a friend. And so anyway, I have this dream about her, and I'm, of course, a kid in the dream. And I don't know what the hell happened in the dream exactly. This was yesterday. And I wake up and I'm crying. I'm not crying like boo-hoo-hoo crying, but I got tears running down my face. And I didn't get that second of oblivion, you know. You get that second where you wake up and you're nobody. So I woke up and I was that kid in school, that alienated kid in school. And so naturally, the next thing I do is like, man, I'm depressed, sad, just sad, real sad. Don't want to get out of bed, so look at the computer, and there's a movie called The Escort. That's like in, little side things on YouTube, and I was like, click on that, thinking it might be something seedy or whatever. And it's one of those romantic comedy things, and I'm like, okay, I know how these movies go, because they're formulaic, generally speaking. Boy meets girl. Uh, they have conflict. They have a big fight. There's resolution, and then there's the kiss at the end, and they both acknowledge their feelings for each other. So what the hell, man? The waterworks start all over again. You know, I don't boo-hoo-hoo cry. My eyes tear up and run. And I'm like, well, that was stupid. You knew what kind of movie that was. As soon as you thought it was something else, but as soon as you clicked on it, you're like, well, this, I didn't watch the whole movie. I clicked around on it because I was just thought that the lead actress had an interesting face, and I just didn't want to get out of bed and start my miserable day, and yeah, so I was just weird. This is weird, and I still have trouble eating, and I'm pretty isolated, so it's not like, I can tell these shoppers people to go spend my money on, I don't really want to, on food that, maybe I want to eat, maybe I won't want to eat, but I really don't want to eat anything. I don't have any appetite, and, I have an appetite for getting out of here. But it was pretty funny. I tried to make a video, because I was like, wow, here I am having, emotions and stuff. I said, this should be recorded. This is a rare sight, like Bigfoot and stuff, you know. So, started to make a video of it, and then the cat just starts meowing outside my door. And, yeah, it won't let me do it. I'm like, man, I can't. I was like, can't even have a moment, man, you know. And I was like, I can't have a moment of peace. I got dogs barking at me through the ceiling. I got a cat barking at me through the door. Got a body that tortures me. I got bad memories. It's always got to be something that's nagging at me, So, yesterday, all I really managed to do was walk around for about 26 minutes for my cardio. Speaking of my cardio, I have an appointment on the 9th to the cardiologist, but feeling like I'm feeling, and knowing that I have the landlord come in here and installing a bathtub on the same day that I have to go to the cardiologist. Now, they had an automated call yesterday, and I went ahead and confirmed the appointment. But then, it was either yesterday or the day before, and because I was like, it's not going to be a big deal or anything like that. I already made the transportation arrangements, but now I just don't want to go. It's like, it's just added stress and added aggravation, and I don't feel well physically, and I'm kind of afraid that I got the flu. But the flu is like a rapid onset thing, and there's always a fever with it and stuff like that. I don't know what is wrong with me. Other than general stupidity and behavior, do some stupid things, and having a difficult life. Yeah, I made this big long video. It's like, it's too many. This is my only outlet now. It's like, I met the caseworker guy. I told him about the suicide by landlord thought I had, and he was like, if you ever have any thoughts like that again, like, you can call me up, or you can call me anytime about anything or whatever. And I'm like, it's not going to help me. It's not going to, it doesn't fix CRPS, it's Just what's the dude gonna do? You know, um, I can kill time this way. I think I might like just sleep. I slept in the afternoon yesterday for some reason, which was a mistake because I'm used to waking up early. So I don't go to sleep until like about 2 in the morning, and I wake up right around 7 o'clock. And 5 hours doesn't really cut it for me. And you know, yeah. So yeah, things are not good. Just don't feel good. And I woke up with a whole bunch of neuropathic pain, and I was like, well, I got those Neuront things, so I'll pop 2 of those. I'm supposed to take 3 at a time. Is that alarm going off? Well, it's not being recorded. Yeah, my alarm is going off, but I turned off my speaker, so we should be cool. Anyways, I took the 2 instead of the 3, and stuff makes me dizzy. And I didn't want to take Valium because that would make me sleepy, and I have to be awake so I can get my food shipment and answer the door. But yeah, this is rough. If you allow me to get a drink of water, thank you. It's very kind of you. You're a very good host. You know that. You know, as a guest, you allow me such liberties. It's quite nice of you. But yeah, uh, yeah. I also talked like in that video. It's like an hour and 22 minutes or something like that. But I was like, it's just too many videos. It's like I'm bored with myself. If I'm bored with myself, I don't want to bore other people and put out a video every day of me griping. But yeah, I was just talking about my sister and the disruption that caused. Like having a family unit is like a really good thing, which I'm realizing, even though my family, the whole dynamic is all screwed up now because like I said, I got the leeches and I got the albatrosses. That's what I got. You know, that's having nothing. But a camera and some kind-hearted people willing to listen to me. It's I don't know if it's an adequate substitute. But then you got these people you can't count on, and these people that take your money. So maybe you guys are better. So, you never asked me for a dime. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, you've never not listened to me. At least that's the people that are click. I don't know if you're listening to me or not, but I was thinking about the time that I was talking to my brother. My brother just told me outright that he didn't care about my life. Because I was talking about I had people move. I don't remember when this was, but I had like new people in the building. They had just moved in, and I talked about having water coming through my ceiling, and he was like, "So there's no one living above you?" And I'm like, "I just told you I had water coming through my ceiling, and there was new people above there." So I'm like, I said, "No, that's not what I said at all," and I re-explained it, and he didn't want to follow along with it, you know. And he just was like, "I don't care." That's my brother. I've looked out for my whole life. I'm like, well, if you don't care, then why are we talking? Why am I talking to you? And his defense was, well, you didn't ask me about my day. And I was like, we've been on the phone for like 5 minutes. You know, I was gonna get around to it. You know, you don't. Since when do you have to like? When do you wait anyway for me to ask you what's going on in your life? Usually, that's not how that works. But he had a bad day or something like that. So naturally, he wanted to spread the wealth, you know, and be like, I don't care. I was like, I would never say that to him. Like when he's telling me about, you know, various detritus nonsense that's going on in his life. Like, I don't care. And it is kind of a big deal, like water coming through your ceiling. It's kind of a big deal, I think. So, point being is like, I miss having a family, but it's not really that supportive of a family anyway. It's more like an abusive type of thing, leeches and albatrosses. And, but, you know, I do like, I miss it. You feel that feeling of isolation, and when you feel sick like this, and you feel like you need help, and it's just you. It's just you against whatever, you know. But lots of times, if it wasn't early in the morning or whatever, like I'm afraid to call these people anyway. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, because I'm afraid like of how it's gonna go. So, but these other people over here just flat take my money that are associated with the war vet. You know, those are the ones I refer to as leeches. The other ones are just like albatrosses because like they lay burdens upon me and don't want to carry mine. It's like you know, like an albatross around your neck. I don't. It's a dumb expression, but whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I hate waking up in a depression like that before you even get started. And I like my appetite's been horrible, and I haven't been wanting to eat. And there's reasons for that. Like teeth, I guess, are very helpful when it comes to eating. And yeah, this isn't good. I can't afford depression, man. I can't afford it. I have, I have things to do. You know, when you have to take care of yourself, you can't afford to be depressed. Um, but I thought I almost deleted my video that I was working on that was just about the benzos. You know, that was just going to tell my benzo story, and I'm going to put the chart down and like sort of like month by month in like a comment, you know, because that way people can unfold the whole thing. I think it should work that way. And, you know, because I tried to quit from March 18th of, that was involuntary though, but if you remember, March 16th, I had a script where they just dropped me in half. And then by March 18th, I had the flu and I had involuntary tolerance withdrawal. And then, so I went more or less from withdrawal from March 18th of 2018 to May 5th of 2019 trying to quit, you know, but I'm trying to quit in a madhouse with a non-supportive family, you know. So, you know, I'm talking about emotionally supportive. Like I have um, a niece that would like very kindly drop off groceries occasionally. Um, just I wouldn't even ask her; she'd just show up and drop them off, you know, and that counts for a lot, you know. If the family does watch this, and I had like a little hint that maybe at least one family member watches these things, it's like I don't hate you guys. Um, it's just a bad situation, you know. Um, the thing with my sister, that was really bad, and that was really easily fixable. And I stuck my neck out a second time and got whacked the cut again. The axe fell again, so it's, it took a lot of balls for me to pick up the phone, you know, after supporting her for 30 years. And then not getting it back, you know. I heard her cry dozens of times, listened to her cry about old news, like literally something that happened 10 to 15 years ago, and was patient with her and kind to her. And all I was doing was a checkup phone call, like, hello, how you doing? And it turned into like, I don't know, I forget how long, but at least 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm just like listening to her cry and being patient and whatnot, as I have done for 30 fucking years without crying on her shoulder. And then 12, 27, 17, I have my breakdown because of my knee. And I don't get paid back, you know. And not only do I not get like any kindness, I get irritation and scorn, you know, and like a, what do you want me to do about it kind of attitude, you know. So I'm crushed, man. Like I said, that taught me how to hate, and it made me real hateful. But I was like, all right, the adult way to deal with this is to try to fix it. I haven't heard from her for a while, so I will call her. And she was like, hey, how you doing? Like it wasn't a big deal or anything like that. And I proceeded to talk about it, you know, and it was just the same thing. She wanted to act like it was not a big deal. It's like when you don't hear somebody boo hoo hoo, gut wrenching, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do type thing for 30 years, and it's a big deal, you know. Like, I'm like, I'm trying to remember what I said. I'm like, a normal person doesn't act like that. You know, but I don't remember what I said. I don't want to rack my brains thinking about it. But, yeah, I mean, that, you know, kind of fucked up the family dynamic. And I had told her earlier, like, when I'm waiting on a rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis, I'm literally expecting a call any minute. I got in call waiting. I'm talking to her on the phone, you know, to get that support and stuff. And she hangs up on me. She gets mad and hangs up on me. Not the time. And then I call her back and I'm like, did you just hang up on me? And she's like, yeah, I did. You weren't letting me talk. I'm like, well, you know, thinking to myself, you're not the one waiting on a diagnosis for a life-altering, crippling disease, rheumatoid arthritis. I just had a rheumatoid arthritis test, and I was going to getting my results. You know, you're not dealing. You know, we actually smoothed that over, you know, that she would hang up on me and then make it about her. So we, talked it out and smoothed it over, fixed it. But then this other thing I couldn't fix, you know, when I called her back the second time after really breaking down and then getting treated like that, um, she had me to the point where I wasn't crying like I was before, but the words were like, I don't know if I can do an imitation of it. It's like, that is what a normal person does. That's not normal behavior. Where you're having trouble getting the words out. And yeah, I mean, that's not, yeah, that was just like more of the same. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I don't, what is, do you need a map pointing toward compassion? You know? Turn a cartwheel, entertain me, put on a jester's hat, tell me a good joke, cheer me up. It's not that type of situation. It's like you just sit there and you listen, and I mean, how can you not know how to do that? You know, how can you not know how to empathize and sympathize um, with somebody in those situations? You know, it's like, that's the part that got me though. It's like she hadn't heard me cry for almost 30 years, 29 years to be exact. And then I actually am crying and she wants to act like it's no big deal. You know, like, I'm not talking about crying like when I woke up from a dream and I had leaky eyes. I'm talking about gut wrenching, like breakdown type shit. So, yeah, I think that's part of my depression is I'm feeling that, like, isolated. And these professional people, I mean, they really can't help me anyway. I, it was very weird. It's weird to hear a busy signal nowadays. Damn it. See, I hope I'm not getting. Maybe I'm just getting a cold. Just a cold, like it's not a big deal. But the flu, wipes you out. Hold on a sec. But yeah, it's very weird to hear a busy signal nowadays. But I called the number to the cardiologist's office and got a busy signal. I'm like, well, maybe they're not in or something. Sometimes they keep weird hours, but that's very weird. Because usually you're like, you have 2 or 3 callers ahead of you. Please wait and listen to this annoying music. Or something like that. But, yeah, my throat hurts. I'm listless. No energy. Bad mood. All the signs pointing toward some sort of sickness. I don't know what kind of sickness. But, yeah, I should probably call my doctor. Well, I can get down there on the motorized scooter because he hasn't moved yet. I don't need no help or no arrangement, so I can, if he would take me tomorrow, I could go in tomorrow. But I don't really want to. I want to give it a day and maybe call him tomorrow. But then, he won't be. I might have to suffer the whole weekend then, I suppose. I don't know if it's the flu because that stuff hits you fast and hits you hard. You're fine 1 minute, and then like I remember when I caught the flu. At the same time, I went to his office and I got my script and I got my pills reduced, and then I went over to the Leach's household and was sitting there, and they left and they were like, we'll be back in a little bit. If you leave before then, you just lock the door because people trust honest people. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, it just hit me so damn quick. I felt horrible, and I was riding an electric bike then, and I hopped on the electric bike, and I'm like, I better go. At the time, I was restringing a guitar. That's why, you know, they said they had to go, but I could stay and then just lock up when I left. So I finished restringing the guitar, and I hopped on the bike, and I got home, and you know, there's actually a video of me from there, you know, like all wrapped up. I never took off my coat, and no, I never took off. Like I got a brown heavy shirt on, and I'm just laying in bed with a hat on and a heating pad on my chest, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me, you know. It can't be withdrawal because I have Xanax in me, you know. But it was the day that I caught the flu, the same day that my Xanax was cut in half, and I was headed toward tolerance withdrawal. So that's why I had 2 weeks in bed with withdrawal and the flu and CRPS, and I lost 12 pounds and went from 185 to 173. And I didn't get any Tamiflu, I don't think, or did I? I'm trying to remember. No, I would remember if I made it to the doctor. I didn't make it to the doctor that time. But the next time I caught the flu, I made it to the doctor and got Tamiflu. And it's good shit. But yeah, I don't feel good physically, emotionally. I'm just low. And that's unfortunate. But I'm not going. You know, the cardiologist thing it's kind of pointless. You know, it's a pointless appointment. Ordinarily, I wouldn't mind. It's like they'll hook me up to an EKG, ask me some questions, and maybe if they want to make a little money, they'll try to schedule a heart ultrasound or something like that. They'll just check to see if I'm an AFib, since that's my deal. And I can tell I'm not an AFib anyways. I don't need them to check that, but they'll hook me up to an EKG, and then I talk to the guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cancel that. But right now I'm just waiting to get my food, trying not to be boring. It's 33 minutes. Oh man, I'm sorry. I gotta do another half hour. Um, oh man, what can I talk about that's interesting to people? People usually like sordid stuff, right? So, um, yeah. I was talking about like the stupidest thing. One of the stupid things when I was talking about myself being stupid is like I was watching that movie, um, The Escort, and when they had their big fight, of course, before the reconciliation and the romantic kiss at the end, um, she's an escort because she's just trying to save up some money. She's doing it temporarily, doing a prostitution thing, and he was like, you pretend like this is a temporary thing, but this is who you are, and was like, yeah, saying stuff like that. You do this because it makes you feel like it gives you control. And she come back at him and said, well, he used something called a sex app or something like that, a sex app. And so he would go around and just bang. Yeah, I don't know if this is a thing that exists. I'm a oldster, so but you just go around and like bang random strangers that also want to bang. And she was like, well, you're just like a sex addict, and you just used sexual pleasure to avoid dealing with real life. And I'm like, Okay, that sounds a little bit familiar. Except for with me, it was M&M's, which marijuana and masturbation. Because I'm in a lot of pain. I still think that hanging around in Bonerland is a lot better than Opiateville or Benzotown. I still think it's was a healthier way to go. But the mistake that I made is like my routine. It got to be a routine. Was smoke a bowl, get high, um, smoke a cigar. Usually, I preferred cigars, and isn't that cool that I don't even remember the name of the cigars that I used to buy? So that means that habit's way in the past. Um, but it took a couple times high in the ambulance with the arrhythmia for me to stop doing that shit. To figure out, like, okay, this is not good. But, anyways, get high, smoke the cigar, put the pornography on, and just hang out. Get the THC to stimulate the pleasure centers in your brain. Just hang out in Bonerland for as long as possible. And, then guess what? Suddenly doesn't feel like I'm in that much pain anymore because I'm high. You know, it's like CRPS, not quite so bothersome. I'm high and I'm kind of occupied in something that most guys enjoy doing anyways. But the problem was I was mixing tobacco with that. So, greatest amount of physical pleasure and a poisonous substance mixed together. That is a recipe for disaster. So that's why, like, I haven't smoked. I'm not like, I don't even know how many cigars or packs of cigarettes I bought in my life. But I was never like an everyday smoker until like maybe a 3 or 4 year period where I was doing that stuff. And it was like an addictive behavior. And it was like blocking out the reality of living here. And it was around the time of my folks' death. So it's blocking out that pain. And it was running from reality, like they talked about in the movie. Man, do I feel ill. But yeah, that's why, like, AA, where they say that if you're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. You're just sober. You're never not an alcoholic. Okay, I'll take these back off because of the reflection. You're never not alcoholic. I think that's how it is with me now. Maybe because I mixed that cocktail, no pun intended, of things. It's like I'm always gonna be a tobacco addict. It's like I just don't smoke. I'm sober because believe me, I see somebody pull out a cigarette on TV. I don't have TV. I have a computer, but somebody pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking. I'm like, son of a bitch, man! I want that cigarette. Or like if I'm around somebody that's smoking, or like yesterday I think I went out in the hallway to get the mail and I smelled smoke because I think everyone in this building smokes, and yeah. But to my credit, since my last AFib, which was brought on by smoking, in September 12th, I've had exactly one cigarette. So that's when I had 5 teeth pulled and I sat out on the porch and smoked it like this. And talked to the war vet guy for a minute and found out he had a job. As far as like the guy, let's change subjects. As far as like the guy want me to call him about having suicidal thoughts, I mean, that's like a daily thing with me. It's like I don't, nobody with CRPS from here down is going to want to live. You know, it's horrible. It's disgusting. You know, I don't want to talk about stuff, that stuff. It's a horrible thing, you know, so it's like a daily thing. So, like, what am I going to do? Call you every day and feel like I tell you, like, you know, it's what I should have just told him I don't keep a gun in the house because, you know, I would use it. And there's something, you know, I told him I did have a plan in place. And I was like, that's the only, he doesn't know what CRPS is, but I was like, you read up about CRPS, you'll understand. You know, if I get too debilitated, and I'm fighting against it, I have a plan. He's like, what kind of a plan? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that. He's like, okay. You know, 'cause I told him about the suicide by landlord thing. But, yeah, I mean, he's got my channel. Might even be watching this, so, you know, I already told the thing anyway. What are they going to do? Come in here and raid stuff that the medical community gave me legally? I don't think so. But no, it's like, I was also talking about, like, in this long ass video I made yesterday, like my brother's suicide and how I think he made the right choice because he killed himself when he was 17. And, you know, all my brothers and sisters all got, like, had miserable lives and have major problems. And, so, like, I kind of feel like he made the right choice. Not, you know, it'd be cool to have another brother because I like my older brother and I like my younger brother. But, um, you know, I don't hold that against him. Um, Maybe the other video was better. I don't know. But I'm just sitting here talking to myself for just because I don't feel well. You know, that's what it feels like. I know there's people listening to this. I'm aware that you're listening to this, but it just feels like you're not here, so it kind of just feels like sometimes I'm sitting here talking to myself, rummaging through my psyche and trying to find interesting things to talk about to occupy my time. I see that talking is going to be a problem, and I might not be doing it much longer because my throat hurts. That's not good. Maybe I'll put the other video up to say this one. I have decided, since this is killing my throat. I don't think you get a throat with the flu. It's probably a cold. I've been around a lot of people lately, you know. I went into that 67 apartment unit. A lot of people around. You touch things, you know. You don't be too, I'm not what's his name? Howie Mandel, germaphobe type dude, but I haven't had any cold or illnesses for like a long time. And then like it's called a malaise, but a lot of times you'll feel like depressed or like just kind of like listless, down and out feeling type before you get sick. And that was me yesterday, and I still was able to do a little cardio work. I didn't pick up any weights or anything like that. And yeah, this is gonna suck, but maybe it'll be a couple of day thing. I don't know. I know I'm starving a lot of the time because eating is unpleasant. I don't enjoy it because of my teeth situation. But now it's more than that now. Yeah, what can you do? People get cold, people get sick. It's just I don't want it to be the flu because the flu means I'm gonna have to. I did drag myself in there. I'm pretty tough, so I did drag myself in there with the flu. But it was at the beginning of the flu. But man, uh, yeah, I'll know pretty soon if this is the flu or not because that shit hits you quick and hits you hard. I don't feel any of the achy. You get all achy and stuff with it. I feel mainly like it's in here. Man, damn it. This is sore, like right in here. Not sure why. And I don't know, man. I try. You gotta give me at least that. I try. It's just, it's a bad life. It's always been a bad life. And I don't know how much redundancy is even. I feel like there's a great deal of redundancy in these videos too. You know. So I think I'm gonna put the other one up and scrap this though. You know. Living alone never bothered me, or it was never hard. But being sick when you're alone, that's hard. You know. CRPS, it's a chronic disease and a chronic condition. But when you're sick on top of it, being alone is hard. I never mind being alone and living alone. It's not that I never get lonely. It's just like it never bothered me when I was strong, young, and healthy, relatively speaking. Just had the CRPS, but I was much more physically capable than I am now, thanks to my knee. But yeah, this isn't very entertaining. Watching somebody being sick. No good stories to tell. And yeah, I don't know how long this dog situation up here is going to work out with the dude in the wheelchair, though, man. If he complains about hearing people making love too loudly, uh, you know, that dog was barking like, shoot, man, 11 o'clock last night. You got a dog barking inside a house, inside an apartment building that's actually just a house. And part of that apartment goes out over top of his apartment, so I'm sure he's enjoying that. Um, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I was also like, the other video was gloomy too anyway, so, this will be a shorter version. Um, but, yeah, I was thinking like once I get out of here, it's like, getting out of here will make me happy. Just having a different landlord in a different place, it will make me happy, but at the same time, it means I have to withdraw off of the volume as planned. Because that's another thing. Well, I can talk about that. That's another thing that I explored. April was a completely disastrous month. That's why I really quit in May. That's why I really quit trying to quit. I was like, can't be done here. It's not possible. Because I forgot about all the things that happened in April. In April, I plunked down $700 for a scooter that didn't work, and I had been trapped inside all winter, of course. And I got this scooter that doesn't work that I just paid $700 for. Meanwhile, my force, I was trying to get my knee taken care of for approximately 4 months. And in April 19th, I think to be exact, was my Medina Cleveland Clinic appointment where they were like, can't help you, you know. And so I had a broke scooter. I had all that effort put in to get my knee fixed. And when the Cleveland Clinic says no, and it's one of the largest hospitals in the world, yeah, that was a blow. And something else happened in there that I'm forgetting. Oh, I had the 8 people above me, because like 3 different sources told me there was 8 people living up there. I knew there was a lot of people living up there, and there was 2 kids, and there's only one person's name on the list, and so I had that also. And then one of the 8 people, according to the lady that's on the lease, was homeless. I'm not exactly sure what that meant. If she was a couch hopper or she was actually on the street, I don't know. But whether that was more likely to bring in the bed bugs and the roaches, I don't know. But then by the end of April, I started noticing roaches. So all this stuff happened in April, really. You know, I just didn't want to look at all the videos. You know, I just don't want to watch my old videos. So, but yeah, so that's what you had. Is you had a $700 scooter that I was hoping to get out of the house with that didn't work. You had the clown car upstairs of about 8 people with 2 kids. And my brain is not good. You had the roaches. And then you had the Cleveland Clinic refusing to fix my knee, which has really destroyed my life. The knee's been the main thing. The knee, it's been the main thing. Not even the benzos was the main thing that destroyed my life. Is that fucking Baker cyst in that knee, and me not being able to be as independent as I was. Because I maintain that without all these crazy obstacles, and that was just all in 1 month, you know all about the other stuff that I'm not going to distract you with. But, you know, before that I had gone through buku stuff living in this building because of the landlord. But I maintain that the knee is the main cause of my destruction, if you want to put it that way, not the benzos. Benzos, of course, did not help matters. I'm losing my voice because of being sick. But I mean, when I had my involuntary reduction, I was still riding an electric bike and stuff, you know, which I can't do anymore because of my leg. With my leg, I have trouble putting on a pair of shorts. So, you know. But with the benzos, like March 16th, I got that script. I got the flu. I suffered through 2 weeks. I went into April. And in April, I had already dropped down to where I was taking a 1/4 milligram. I mean, within 3 weeks, I was already taking a 1/4 milligram of Xanax and surviving. And then I had the tooth pulled, and I had to I couldn't go to another city, to a strange place in withdrawal. I had to have Xanax to get through that. It's oral surgery. So I had like a few leftover pills. I don't remember how many pills I took over 2 days. It's in my chart, I'm sure. No, it's actually not in my chart because my chart didn't start until the next month. But it was I don't know, it was a couple milligrams worth. But it was enough to kindle me to where like I lost ground. That's because it was the withdrawal was forced upon me and I was not in control of it. And it was 50%. You're never supposed to drop 50% off of Xanax. It's not how it works. There's like percentages. They really actually, there are people out there that understand how this works. Believe it or not, they are medical people. I did not have one of those people. So, if I was living somewhere else and I didn't have to deal with crack dealers, meth dealers, and all bug infestations and mismanaged buildings and just utter madness, I'm sure, I'm positive I would be benzo free. It's just the knee was the main downfall to my life, is what I'm saying. Benzo's the second thing. But without the knee, I get the exercise, I even exercise with the broken knee. But I get out, I'm walking around, it's a whole nother deal. I'm sorry that I'm hoarse and froggy in this video. And then, I just kind of like, I also gave up on the knee. I mean, after the Cleveland Clinic rejection, I was like, I have one. Omni Orthopedics is like the last people that will take my insurance, and I believe I said that before, that I'm waiting on a call from them that's never gonna come, so I have to reboot that whole process. I mean, this has been going on with a bad knee for 5 fucking years, maybe 6, where I've had something going on with this knee. I don't keep track of time very well. Which, these videos serve as a sort of journal. It helps me keep track of when things happen, but it's only dated from May 1st of 2018 to May 5th of 2019. So it's not covering all that huge of a span of time, just about a year. Shit, my throat hurts. Yeah, I'm not going to the cardiologist. It's pointless. I'm just gonna cancel. I'm not even gonna like reschedule. I'm just gonna cancel the appointment and say I'm sick. After this, I'm gonna sound like I'm either a very good actor or sick, and that I'm gonna have to, figure out. I'll call back and reschedule when I'm over whatever this is, or when I can figure out whatever this is. I'll reschedule. Because as far as seeing a cardiologist, there's really, like I said, I've been there to a couple of them. All they do is they hook you up to an EKG and ask you some questions. Really, all they're doing is checking to see if you're an AFib or not, and seeing how your heart's performing. And since I can feel that myself, I don't need to go. I don't know if I have a problem. I've been doing good. Like I said, about the isolation gets to you, but as far as staying away from smokers, because I know a lot of those, and that was just like another unlucky thing that where I felt bad for that guy, and he got me hooked back on the smoking almost every day. And that was a real shame that I had pity on that guy, and that I'm a compassionate, nice person. That was a real shame, because he got a TV off of me, DVD player, a remote. He broke my Browns mug. He got football cards off of me. He got expensive bus pass off of me, because these people are leeches, and he's part of the leech clan. And I didn't mind the TV that much, because I figured I would be moving before this, but I've missed it a couple of times where I'd like to, lift weights and hook up the computer to the TV out there. But I didn't want to. Didn't want to move it anyway. I figured he'd get more use out of it than I would. But yeah, that was just a real shame. Like, being a nice guy is a dangerous thing, because But he might have burned the house down if I didn't talk to him, because he was out there. He had no electricity and had candles, and was an alcoholic. He just was using a bunch of candles and stuff. I don't know if that would have hurt me or not. If he's upstairs and he starts a fire in this building, it would inconvenience me. But my best friend was telling me that he had a fire at a place that he rents out, and he said, I got 2 appointments tomorrow. One of them's with an investigator, and one of them's with the fire department, and to find out what's what. No, the insurance company. One was with an investigator with the fire department, and one was with an insurance company, because he had a fire at his building. And he's like, well, at least it'll get rid of the tenants. I was having trouble getting rid of them anyway. But yeah, so you don't know. Maybe if I wasn't a nice guy, but I think it would have been better off just leaving him suffer and not showing him compassion, you know. And I got involved with him last summer, which is all recorded on here. But he started me on the smoking thing, and my heart must have been in really good shape, because I smoked a lot. We'd sit out there and play poker, and I'd smoke anywhere from 3 to 7 cigarettes, and I'd say I'd be smoking like at least 1 or 2 cigarettes every day. And yeah, one time he gave me a pack of cigarettes, and I smoked 10 out of the pack, and I told him, don't give it to me, and he was all hammered, staggering around. And that's when I gave him the TV. He was like, just take it. And he was like, well, just hold on to it. And I said, you don't understand, man. Can't hold on to it. I'm an addict, And he's like I couldn't get rid of him, and I took the cigarettes in, and when I gave them back to him the next day, he was like, man, there's like, you are a smoker. There's like 10 missing. And it's like, he was literally throwing cigarettes at me, literally, when I talked to him through the window and listened to his insane babble, his PTSD inspired mad chatter. But that's what brought on the September 12th arrhythmia hospital stay. And then that was rough. Let's see what time it's getting to be. Oh, you're off the hook. It's 11:04. But to finish the thought, that was rough. It was September 12th, and then right after that, all this tooth devastation. Like the next month, September, October, all the devastation. Anyways, thank you for helping me kill an hour for my food guy comes. Hopefully he didn't knock on the door and I didn't hear him, because it's 11:04. I'll talk to you next time.